So this is my iPad, and this is what I want to screencast TVPaint onto. So first things first, I need to open a TVPaint file on my main computer, which is this one. So we're going to go down here, and we're going to open TVPaint. This is 12 Pro. Okay, I've opened up a file, a TVPaint file. Now I'm going to go all the way up here, and we're going to click this button. And then right here it says screen mirroring. So you can press that, and it should come up with a few options to extend or mirror this, this screen, this display. So in this case, I want my iPad to be screened, so I pressed that, and then there you go. It showed up right here. So right off the bat, you can use it like this, or you can go here and use it as an extended display, which would just make it so that you have more room to work. So for example, if I wanted to have this part, like the canvas part, on my iPad, I would just drag it over and then it would show up. I'm just using the mouse pad to drag it until I see it, and then I'm just grabbing it up here using the mouse pad from my computer still. And so while I have that going, what I can do is I can now have this screen to show the timeline, which is really helpful, and that's usually how it would work when I could. So one thing you should know is that you can't use the touch on your iPad when this is like enabled, so you have to use your pen. So I just want to go to Windows here, and then down to Timeline, and then it'll pop up here. And this is like really great, and I'll explain in a little bit why it's so great to have these two. Like it's better to have it as a, if you need your timeline, it's much better to have it on two different displays where you're not going back and forth all the time. Yeah, so then you can just double click and then have it be full screen, and then for this, now it'll enable my pen. I can just go in, and then I can use it like kind of like a regular screen. I can add a frame. Down here is add a frame, add another frame, play, there we go. Another quick PSA for all of this is that if you are using instead of the extended display, the mirrored, and you go back and forth to your timeline, I've noticed that it will crash much easier. Even this computer, being a pretty good computer, has crashed on me like very easily when I start kind of going back and forth with my timeline. The short key is usually 0, and to like close and open the timeline. But if I'm doing it while I'm also animating with the same kind of frame, or I'm doing like the timeline is on one side and then like I'm animating on the other, then it just crashes a lot easier. So if you can, get another monitor display and just hook it up with an HDMI, because it'll definitely be a time saver when it comes to the program crashing all the time. I should mention also, I used it a lot like this, like with it hooked up to my iPad, and there were times when it would just kind of malfunction and I would have to like restart everything, not restart everything, but like reopen everything. That's one thing about TVPaint that like is really important to note, is like save as much as possible, and also don't just press like Control S save. I mean like save the file, save as, because I have lost stuff many times by using the Control S, and it doesn't always compute the same way. I don't exactly know why, but just trust me, do the Control save as often as you can. But this works really well for me, this situation of having it on my iPad. The only thing when it comes to the pen, the Apple Pen versus the Wacom pen, is the Wacom pen has like a way better range when it comes to like this pressure sensitivity, versus the Apple Pen it just doesn't. It's not like built for that, and it's also not built for TVPaint. Like this is not how I don't think TVPaint is supposed to be used. That being said, it can kind of sometimes, like if you're used to maybe using the Wacom tablets at school or whatever, this might kind of be a little bit of a downgrade, but for me, just like as a time saver, this was like a game changer. So hopefully it was for someone else. And if you would like more tutorials on TVPaint, I know a lot about it, so just let me know. If there's anything in particular, don't be afraid to ask me.